Hi guys, welcome to Pile Driver Party. It's a brand new wrestling podcast. With me, Tim, your host, my brainchild. Bit of a background about myself. Unfortunately, I'm heading towards mid-30s. I grew up watching WCW over Saturday afternoon. Kind of stopped watching, dipped back in and out of WWE during the Attitude Era, a bit of the Ruthless Aggression Era. Recently got back into wrestling again, just before WrestleMania 31, I think was the WrestleMania that Seth Rollins cashed in, wasn't it? Yeah, so kind of got back into it back then, and my interest has only grown and grown over the past couple of years. I watch Raw most weeks, NXT most weeks. The only show I don't really watch at the moment is 205 Live, just because I haven't got time for it. I've dabbled with a bit of New Japan as well. I haven't really caught any Ring of Honor, or TNA stroke GFW stroke whatever it's going to be called. Just because there's not really much point at the moment. So yeah, my podcast, hopefully, I would like it to be something that grows and the content becomes must watch, must listen content. If people could fit it into their busy schedules and don't miss out on other stuff that they enjoy, then that would be great. What I would like to talk about for my first podcast is, and this is kind of close to home, to be honest. What should WWE do with British Strong Style? The turn of the year, the start of 2017, the UK Championship, WWE's UK Championship, was held in Blackpool over a weekend, and it really shined a light on how good the UK's independent wrestling scene is. And to be honest, I really didn't know that much about the UK independent scene. I'd watched WCPW a couple of times, some of their videos online on YouTube, some of their clips, but other than that, I didn't really know where to go or what to watch. So the UK Championship really did open my eyes to the UK independent wrestling scene. I mean, it's funny because I say Birmingham. I am from Birmingham in England, and it's quite interesting to see that three of the biggest talents in the UK at the moment are from the West Midlands, Birmingham and the surrounding area, and that's Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Pete Dunne. I think everybody involved must be frustrated at how those three in particular, British Strong Style, have or have not been utilised by WWE since the UK Championship. You only have to look at the tag match at the recent NXT takeover, Brooklyn 3, which had Moustache Mountain, Tyler Bate and Trent Seven against Wolfgang and Pete Dunne. The takeover crowd absolutely loved the UK guys. Pete Dunne got one of the biggest pops of the night when he came out. It's needless to say that he's an absolute star at the moment, and it's a shame that those three in particular, but also the rest of the UK talent, isn't really being used by WWE. I mean, when the tournament was going on, we were kind of promised a weekly UK show. That hasn't happened. It doesn't look like it's happening. To the point where WWE have even scrapped some shows on the network. So, and they've even stopped bloody pyros. So they and as a cost cutting measure, and you would have thought that would be a minimum cost to WWE, but apparently not. As I say, WWE, they've even cut shows on the network. Talking Smack, what's the show that Edge and Christian do? The show that totally reeks of awesomeness. It shows how awesome it was because I've never seen it. So I don't think that's much of a miss. But I know there was a lot of annoyance at Talking Smack being cancelled because it gave wrestlers the opportunity to get over with fans in a different way to the shows, to SmackDown. I mean, you just need to look at the shoot style performance that The Miz put on against Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. It even gave the likes of Eric Rowan time to shine and kind of show what he can do when he's not getting a lot of time in the ring. So, with that being said, it doesn't look like WWE will be putting out a weekly UK show anytime soon. So I just kind of wanted to talk about, 5 ideas at what WWE could do with, in particular, British Strong Style, but to a lesser extent the rest of the UK. The UK performers that they had in the UK Championship. Some of these ideas are slightly on the side of fantasy. I've added them in. I've only got the 5, but I think they would be intriguing. It would be pretty cool. I will start off with the idea that the least likely to happen, and count down to number 1 at what would be the more likely to happen. So, with that being said, number 5, create a cross-brand trios championship. This is never going to happen, it's even less likely to happen. The fact that there are so many belts within WWE at the moment, that they've got belts coming out of their ear holes. There's that many with I think is there 4 per brand. When you throw in the Cruiserweight, the NXT, the Women's NXT, and the tag titles. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But how awesome would a trios championship be? Have it cross-brand, so you've got, there will be Raw representatives, SmackDown, Cruiserweights. Why not? You could have a Cruiserweight team or a couple of Cruiserweight teams, and also NXT. Now, British Strong Style could have, it wouldn't take much to team Pete Dunne with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven on WWE TV. I know they're not at the moment. Pete Dunne's kind of heel, whilst the other 2 are faces, but they don't necessarily have to be face or heel. They could just be, they could just want to go out and prove that British Strong Style are the best that WWE have got. The titles could be defended on whichever show, depending on who the champions are or who the challengers are. So obviously you wouldn't have, say, the trios champions were all from Raw and they were facing off against a cruiserweight team. You wouldn't have that on SmackDown. That would either be on 205 Live or on Raw. But saying that, as the belts are cross-brand, there's no reason why you couldn't have the teams cross-brand. It would be going back in time and probably wouldn't work as well anymore, but you could reform the Wyatt family. Bray's on Raw, Harper and Rowan are both on SmackDown Live, but they could still compete as a team. It's just whether WWE want to blur the lines between the brands. I think it'd be really cool if they did. And I also, I think that would help. I think that would help ratings if you know that there are superstars turning up on a brand that they're not normally associated with. So and it would also shine a light on the talent that are on shows that people don't watch. And this is never going to happen, but if you had the Shield reform, and they're not, I'm fully aware that they won't be reforming, but if they popped up on 205 Live to take on a Cruiserweight Trios team, well, that's going to pop ratings for 205 Live, surely. And if they turned up on NXT, it would just be amazing. I think WWE would get a lot more. Probably, I think that would actually kind of boost subscribers to the network. I honestly do. I think it would be a way of getting more casual fans signing up to watch them on NXT or 205 Live or whatever. And with that being said, I had a quick think about the teams. There's only a few that could be thrown together. So there would be, obviously, you'd have pretty strong style. So Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Pete Dunne. The recent additions to NXT: Adam Cole, baby, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. That's an obvious choice to put together. You've already got, so they're from NXT. You've already got Sanity, who Killian Dane, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf. That's a pretty badass team. Who wouldn't want to see them compete as a trio? Being slightly stereotypical, the three luchadors across the brands: Kalisto, Sin Cara, so formerly Lucha Dragons, and Gran Metalik. I've watched the past couple of 205 Live episodes, and Gran Metalik's awesome. I don't know why he doesn't get more of a push. I know his English isn't very good, if he speaks English at all. I'm not sure. That's probably what's holding him back. But I think those three in the ring, if Kalisto can kind of cut out his botches, because the past couple of times he's appeared on Raw, there have been a couple of moves. But that would be, because over in Mexico they do have trio championships, and that would be awesome to watch. I think the three of them working in tandem. Of course, you got the New Day over on SmackDown performing as a trios. They already do in some of their matches anyway when they get involved. The non-competing member in tag matches will get involved in some shape or form. It would give, looking at another team, it would give Gallows and Anderson something to do. They could, they're working as tweeners at the moment, so they could easily reform with Finn Balor if if for whatever reason they don't want to go down that route with Balor, they could with AJ Styles. Doesn't matter either way. It does, like I said, if we have the teams cross brand, you could have Gallows and Anderson staying on Raw. You could have AJ staying on SmackDown, but they could team to become a trios team. And I mean, it's as close to the Bullet Club in WWE will ever get. So, you know, why not? They've already worked together when they faced off against John Cena last year. So yeah, why not? Why not? I think it'd be fun. Hell, you could even reform the 3-man band with Drew, Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater, and Jinder Mahal. You know, one's NXT champion, one's WWE champion, and you know, it's only in the past year or so that Heath Slater was SmackDown Tag Team Champion with Rhino. So, I mean, that might be a joke, but you know, I think it'd be quite funny. Number 4, have them enter the Royal Rumble. Just thinking about like the next Rumble when it comes along in, is it January? Time hit 0. Number 30 entrance in the Rumble. Pete Dunne comes out, UK title gripped between his teeth. It would be bigger than the pop that Ty Dillinger got at the number 10 spot in this year's Rumble. I honestly think that the place would go mental for it. Having him in there in the ring, it helps showcase his skills on the main roster. Whether you'd want to do it that way, whether you just want to have Pete Dunne turn up in it, or if you wanted, I mean, you could have Tyler Bate coming in, squaring off against Cesaro in the middle of the Rumble. I think that'd be pretty awesome. They're both pretty strong dudes. Tyler Bate's he's got a lot of power behind him, even though he seems like a small guy. I mean, he certainly doesn't miss leg day. He's actually surprised me with the power that he's got. I've seen him fight Jeff Cobb, Matanza Cueto in Lucha Underground, and that was a pretty awesome match. They were both facing off in funnily enough in a trios match. So that was pretty cool. It would be good to see him face off against Cesaro middle of the Rumble. That'd be pretty cool. Or Trent Seven against Kevin Owens. You know, if Owens is already out there, Trent comes out, I think that would be a pretty good face off, and a pretty good side story in the middle of a Royal Rumble. It gives them all the chance to showcase their talents. I know they've appeared on takeovers. The past couple of takeovers have all appeared on there, or a subset of them have appeared on there. But I mean, how awesome would it be if they popped up in the Royal Rumble? I mean, that would be pretty cool. Okay, so number 3, finally sort out a UK TV show. I mean, this would be the ideal solution, and the original plan that they were going for. There seems to be something holding WWE up. Whether the contestants they had in the tournament don't want to sign up because WWE maybe they want them on exclusive contracts, or just maybe they're not. They fancied it. The wrestlers fancied it as a one-off, but not as a regular thing. Also, maybe they feel like they don't need to put a show on anymore because the World of Sport show doesn't seem to be going anywhere fast. I haven't heard anything about that for a good while. But I mean, it's a shame that there won't be certainly in the near future, there won't be a UK show, a weekly UK show. For me, as an Englishman, it'd be great to have a UK show, either touring the country, to take 3 or 4 episodes in one go, or have them in one, have one base for the show, like NXT do with Full Sail. I know they sometimes appear at the University of Florida or something like that, but you could have the UK guys turn up, do 3 or 4 tapings in one go, and then they can go back to doing their indie shows. Maybe have one house show a week. It would certainly get the crowds, because of the buzz around them at the moment. And if it's a UK show, there's nothing to say that UK wrestlers from other brands. So I know there aren't many, and I'm not including Finn Balor or Sheamus in this, because they're from the Republic of Ireland, not part of the UK. But you could have Drew McIntyre turn up, Neville, Noam Dar. That would be pretty cool. Have a couple of champion v champion matches. Have a storyline where, say, Neville is bored of beating everybody on 205 Live and wants to take the UK title. I mean, that would be awesome. Neville versus Pete Dunne. That who wouldn't want to see that? They're both fantastic, and it would be good to see two heels going at it. You don't often see that anymore. It's normally face heel. I know with some wrestlers the lines are blurred a bit, but you don't really see two full on heels going at it anymore, really. Number 2, have them invade Raw and or SmackDown, either as singles competitors or as a faction. As a faction, they could interrupt the GM on either show halfway through cutting a promo, and they could spout off about how they were promised a UK show, and as a WWE aren't coming to the UK, then they're bringing the UK to the WWE. They could go full heel because of the frustrations over it. Turn Mustache Mountain heel. They already work heel with Pete Dunne on the indie scene. Well, even have them turn up with Triple H. I've seen on the UK independent scene that they do go full on Triple H with the spitting of the water out onto the crowd, and that's pretty cool when it's the 3 of them doing it on the edge of the ring. Because Triple H will be coming back before WrestleMania, because he'll want another WrestleMania match. So if he's turning up and he's bringing them with him, I think that'd be pretty cool. Or it would be pretty awesome. AJ Styles is doing his US title open challenge. Any of them come out, I mean, that the pop that it would get is, it would be. I mean, probably not so much with Trent Seven. I don't think he's got as much of a buzz behind him as Tyler Bate, purely because Tyler Bate is he was the inaugural UK title holder. And Pete Dunne's the current title holder. They're younger, so they've got a bit more buzz about them, because they're going to have another 10-15 years in the business, whereas Trent's a little bit older, so WWE may not want to push him as much. Trent's probably happy appearing on there, just showing his stuff. He must have worked hard over the years on the UK scene, and I know he was actually he was Bates' trainer, and now they've gone on to become this pretty awesome tag team. It would just be for any of them to come out. I think it would be pretty cool. Lastly, and probably the most most realistic to happen would be to join NXT as a faction. It doesn't address what WWE would do with the UK title. So that's something they've got to work out. I mean, you've got to stick with that title because it's by far and away the best looking title WWE have got at the moment. So to not have that being defended or to just get rid of it would just be insane. We've already had all three of them have made appearances on NXT TV tapings. There's been a couple of Danny Burch seems to be fully in NXT now, but at the time of this podcast, Pete Dunne is going to be defending his UK Championship against Wolfgang on the next episode of NXT, which, I mean, it's already been taped, but so if you, and I'm pretty sure that we would know if there was a title change by now. But there's Mark Andrews has appeared on NXT as well, so there's 3, 4, 5, call it 6 UK wrestlers that have appeared on NXT tapings. So they've already made, with British Strong Style, the three have already made appearances on NXT and have appeared on a couple of takeovers, and they've always been well received by the Full Sail crowd. With Adam Cole's new kind of ex-Ring of Honor faction debuting, and with Sanity sticking around for now that they're tag champs, it feels like it would be an ideal time to debut Pretty Strong Style as a faction. And as the NXT tapings are every 4 weeks or so, it would give the three of them the chance to still appear at their indie shows in the UK, so that they would still appear at Progress and other promotions like Fight Club Pro, which they're heavily involved in, I believe. So yeah, I mean, if they were to join NXT, they'd only have to be in Florida for 1 week of the month, do the tapings, maybe do a couple of house shows, fly back over to the UK, and then they've got 3 weeks of indie shows to do. So that won't that really wouldn't be a problem for them. I think that would be awesome. I mean, the more we see of them, the better. Surely, there's no downside to that, apart from not being able to do anything with the UK title. And Bates and Seven are kind of packaged as faces at the moment, but it wouldn't be hard to turn them heel, to have them join Pete Dunne, or have them just all as tweeners. They can go out and destroy the lesser teams and the lesser wrestlers, but still want to take on Cole, Fish, O'Reilly as a faction. Yeah, I mean, I digress. It would be awesome. That is all I've got time for. Mainly because I've got to go and do the washing up. Got to be up early for work tomorrow, so I've got to get all that done. Leave comments, please. Any constructive criticism is very much appreciated. I think I know what I want to do for my next podcast. And I think it will be, now that Asuka has relinquished her NXT Women's title, and that she will be turning up on Raw, probably Raw or SmackDown. I think what I want to do is run through the plus points and negative points of her joining either brand. Hopefully I can get something up next week, but yeah, as I say, leave some comments. Let us know what you think. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you want to listen to some more, give me a subscribe. One thing I will mention before I go, that the this podcast did start out as a WordPress site. So if you want to give my WordPress site a look, I only started it a couple of weeks ago, so there's only about 5 articles on there. This is one of them. But yeah, if you want to give it a look, www.piledriverparty.wordpress.com. Give it a look. Have a read of there's a couple of reviews of pay-per-views, so SummerSlam and Takeover Brooklyn 3. Again, leave any comments there. Let us know the good bits, the bad bits, what you want to see, what you want to hear. And thank you for listening. See you later.